football lovers, Super Eagles supporters, and they know football as well. They've been praying, cheering for the team. They should continue in that manner. And we can promise them at the end of the day, everybody will be happy at the end of that game. So they should keep the support high. Fill up the stadium tomorrow and cheer Nigeria. Score goals. Because opportunity rarely come, in high-level matches like this. So when you have a chance, you have to take it.
Amidst all of the insecurity challenges we have, economic challenges we're faced with, there's still bright spots that we all look forward to. In fact, some people live for those moments. Football is one of them, and we're paying attention to that this morning. The second leg of that all-important playoff with Ghana takes place later on today. You've listened to the management of the Super Eagles, what is expected, what they expect from you and I. And this morning we're having the all-important conversation with someone whom you may know as headmaster. I think I recall that more than even his actual name. Mutiu Adepoju joins us this morning, ex-Super Eagles midfielder, ex-international player. He's appeared for the country in 3 World Cups, as many Africa Cup of Nations, with 48 caps for the full side and 6 goals. It's great to have you on the program, headmaster. So let's go to school, shall we? So we had the first leg. Good morning. He joins us from Ibadan, by the way. It's interesting to see you're back to where you started from, Shooting Stars. Well, let's put that history aside for a moment and talk about the match we have today. So we had the first leg in Ghana. We have a second leg today. What do you think we should have learned from that first leg? Because there was a lot of hype, and there was expectations, Jollof Derby and all of that, but it didn't quite live up to the expectations. So first, what should we have learned from that first match moving into today's match?
Well, I think, we should have learned that, Ghana has changed, from what we saw at the AFCON. Everybody saw that, Ghana was, eliminated from the group stage. And, I've always been saying it, that, anytime Ghana is playing against Nigeria, we are seeing, different, Ghana, no matter what they might have done, earlier. But, this time around, I think, they have come and, they have changed, and, they really wanted to win. But I believe that, we have capacity, we have the players that, is going to give us, the result and, qualify us for the World Cup.
So what we have on our hands tonight or this evening is a tricky one because of the rules, the away goal rule. So if the match ends 1-1, for example, Ghana qualifies. So it's a bit tricky on our hands. So how should we approach this game? I know we're a bit cautious during the match in Ghana, but what should be our thinking, our game plan for this game?
Well, our game plan should be, go all out. Yeah, although it's, very, very, tricky, like you said, that, if, they score a goal, it's going to be, very, very difficult. But the fact is that it still remains that we are playing at home. We should have, the support of, our fans, and that should carry, the players. They all know what is at stake. Because playing in the World Cup, is the highest, and every footballer will want to play. I have the feel of, playing in the World Cup, and I'm very sure that, our players, they are going to go for it. And we should just, go all out, try and, take our chances. We're going to have, opportunities of scoring. We should take, those chances, and without, leaving behind or manning our defense, knowing fully well that they have great players that can pose a lot of threat on our defense.
Well, I recall the coach Austin Eguavon saying post-match, having an interview with the media, and one of the things he said was that he wasn't happy with the way we were letting them win some balls and get into spaces. Is that something you also noticed, and What do you think
Yes,
opened up
actually,
that
I
space?
noticed. It's in the first leg, and we allowed. Them to get. The ball in the midfield. So often, and they try and go on counter attack. The marking should be very, very tight, and the midfield. Should be. More tighter than what we had in Ghana, and we should. Just try and as much as possible to break in from the wings. I believe we're going to create lot of threat, lot of havoc if we go from the wing.
The operative is a phrase or clause now for me is we allowed them. How do you think that happens? Or well, from your experience, how does that happen?
Well, if you give too much space for their players, allowing them to get the ball in the midfield, what is called loose balls, and then you allow them to get it and get balanced and face you. It's going to be very difficult. The most important thing is giving them tight marking and not allowing them to get the ball and face you.
Well, let me confess to you, as I have to several other people, I always watch any match that I'm emotionally connected to with one side of my eye, because I don't want my blood pressure to be raised. But the bit of it that I watched from time to time, it seemed like the Eagles were a little too cautious, not wanting to concede a goal and all of that. Is that something you also noticed? And is there a way we could have done any better than we did, being an away match?
Well, the fact remains that, in a football game, you must, watch your defense as well as, when you are attacking, you must know that, your defense too, you have to man it and, make it, tighter and stronger. So if, the Eagles, being very cautious, I think, it's normal, but the only thing they have to do is, when going into the attack, they should go with all, force and everything to make sure that, they make use of, that attack.
Twice you have mentioned the defense. Is there something you noticed?
Well,
or is it because it's your space?
I noticed that, whenever we are attacking and a long ball and they win the ball, a long ball is given to the attackers. Sometimes, they beat us, to it. There should be more tighter marking so that, we'll get the ball as soon as possible so that we can go back on the attack.
Okay, let's take this to Markwe now. I tell you, Markwe is a huge football fan, and it will shock you the kind of analysis you get from her. Markwe.
Are you setting me up, Coyote? But, I'm going to go past what you've just said. I know that the match is happening here in Abuja, in the Federal Capital Territory. I do not know if you have any apprehensions about location and the stadium itself. Have you played here before? And, do you exercise any apprehensions about the MK Abiola Stadium where they will be playing today?
Well, I don't have any problem with MK Abiola Stadium. It's a very, very beautiful edifice, and the newly installed things. There, the pitch itself, looking at it on TV, looks very great, and looks like somewhere that you can play good football. I've played there once. Though it was an invitational game. But it's a very, very good stadium in which I believe the players will be able to express themselves in the match today.
It's very important that we put that, because we know that football, much as it's about the game, we also know that there's plenty of, psychology around it. There's plenty of talk around even jerseys that the team should wear, the jerseys that bring good luck and all that sort of talk. But I'd like to know, today the federal government has asked, I think, civil service has asked workers to close at 1 o'clock today so that the stadium can be filled. We are hoping that indeed the stadium is filled today. Looking at the permutations, I mean, I'm looking at a few tweets here. One of them is from Pastor Law, who says, to douse tension and play with lots of confidence, the Super Eagles have to target an early goal. They should try to be cautious and intelligent in their defense line. How big do you think that this will be a motivator for the Super Eagles? Are you confident of an early goal?
Well, you know, until the match is played, you you don't know what is going to happen, because the determinant is the opponent too, and I believe we have the capacity, and scoring early goals, like you said, is going to be very, very good, because the more that they are coming, the more that the time is going, the more confidence the opponents will have, and might be very, very bad for us. So early goal is very important, but we shouldn't just take it as if it's the end of it. We can score a goal any moment, any time. But I just think that they should go all out right from the beginning to make sure that we score a goal at least for a start.
For your ratings, what would you say? What do you expect? I know that people are going to be betting on this game, but I'm not talking about the people who are betting now. But looking at our chances, if you were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, like we have a perfect score, where do you expect the Super Eagles to be playing today?
Well, I think I expect the Super Eagles to be playing to their highest capacity. We have the players, and they are all doing well in their clubs, their various clubs, and they just need to put that, because that's what everybody wants. I believe we have players. It's going to be a 50-50 because we played 0-0 in Kumasi a few days ago. But I think we have the capacity, and I will give the Super Eagles 7 over 10 opportunity of winning this.
It's interesting you say 50-50, so it doesn't look like being at home confers an advantage on us. We understand that $12 million is at stake in this particular game. Isn't that motivation enough for us to want to take, at least to bring this ticket home?
Yeah, it's motivational enough, but I'm not going to go into the monetary aspect of it. The motivation for the players, is just playing in the World Cup. I think that's the highest, and aside the monetary aspect of it, the World Cup itself is a motivation for them to want to go and play, and to play and qualify today in today's game.
Okay, so let's maybe preview the team. You talked about the wings as well, Moses Simon. There was this right player in Ghana who was sort of giving him some issues. And we saw the speed, the kind of burst we saw from the Ghanaian. So in terms of the team now, the team plan, do you expect any changes, or would you be maybe advising some changes to the team from the one we saw the last time out?
Well, I'm not the coach, and the coaches, the players that they have, at the camp right now, and it's going to depend on their form and everything. But I will expect, 1 or 2 changes, in the team from what we saw in Kumasi.
So, what style of play? I didn't quite. I didn't see the team that played against Egypt at the AFCON. I didn't quite see the movement of ball that way. And I think you talked about that, trying to, feed the strikers straight from the defenders. And, you still had the midfield. There was, we know Nigerian style of play. We string the passes, we sort of confuse the opponents, and we hit them, boom, dictates the play. So what sort of play do you see us building here, or do you think will be very effective in this match?
Well, all I know, and I mean, I think the combination, I mean, playing from the back, and I mean, when least expected, a long pass, I mean, to the striker, I mean, from the midfield or to the wings. So I believe, I mean, everything, the combinations, I mean, is going to be okay. But I mean, playing from the back, long one, always, I mean, is going to be to our detriment. And I mean, think that, I mean, we should play passing game, and I mean, going from the wings, I mean, it's going to be very, very important.
Just a quick one from you on local content for our football. We try to ask this question all the time. When you were, playing, I mean, the previous years of your playing was always, I mean, ICC Shooting Stars had largely local players and all of that, and so did many of those clubs at the time. So in terms of local content for our football, what do you think we should be doing?
Well, I mean, change, I mean, the ways entirely. I believe, I mean, yeah, there are some clubs in Nigeria that are professional enough, but I mean, it is not enough. I believe, I mean, we should change, I mean, the narratives, and there are certain things that, I mean, should be put in place in which, I mean, will make us, I mean, more professional and do things, I mean, the right way and the modern way. I think it's, I mean, very, very important, I mean, for the clubs to do that.
Well, we won't let you go, Headmaster, without getting a prediction from you. What do you think? 1-0, 2-0, 4-0? What are your thoughts?
4-0 will be very difficult because Ghana will come all out too.
Absolutely.
But I mean, if we can get 2 goals, I mean, it's okay.
Okay, 2-0, you heard that. I would like to thank you so much, Mutiu Adepoju. It's good to see you again, I must say. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the program this morning.
Thank you.